Something peachy's coming up. Stay tuned. Hello, fellow birdwatchers, and welcome back for a brand new season of Twits and Pishers. We've got a great plan for the upcoming season. The migrating birds are coming back to Canada, so we'll be able to stay in Canada. We're going to hit a number of the great Canadian birding hotspots. Speaking of which, I'm standing right now among the Ponderosa pines above Vaso Lake in southern British Columbia in the Okanagan. And today I'm going to go birding with Dick Cannings, a longtime birder in this area, professional ornithologist, and co-author of a wonderful book called Birds of the Okanagan Valley. So I think we're going to do very well. I'm quite excited about it. And dark-eyed junco calling over there. Good sign. Let's see what we can find. The most famous birding localities in the Okanagan Valley lie south of Penticton between the city itself and the Canada-US border. This forest is great for birding, isn't it? There's almost no understory. You can just walk through.
Yeah, it's my favorite habitat. I gotta admit, you can walk through it wherever you want. If you hear a bird up the hill, you can just take off and away you go. You don't need a machete or gumboots or anything like that.
Oh, true.
And you can see them too. There's a pine over there, 100 yards away, and if there was something in there, you could see it.
So what did this peak sound we're hearing around us here?
That's the pygmy nuthatch, the smallest of the nuthatches, obviously, and you never find a pygmy nuthatch farther than spitting distance from one of these Ponderosa pines. So it's a real, you just always find them in this habitat and nowhere else.
Them, up in there?
Yeah, those little tiny guys out in the branches. They're more on the branches than the other nuthatches. They have that little piping call.
Yeah, they don't have that nasal sound that the other nuthatches do either.
No, it's quite different. It sounds more like the crossbills.
Yeah, they're handsome little guys. I like them.
Yeah, little buffy bellies.
Now you were making a pygmy owl call there a minute ago.
Yeah, the other pygmy and
yeah, two pygmies in it.
yeah, and there's one of a pygmy owl answering back up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
He's
still
come in
ways
to
off.
see who's.
Give him another toot there. Ooh, that's dandy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still way up there, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Boy, what a...
Sometimes they come down and sometimes they don't. But whatever, it really, whenever you're whistling like pygmy owl, sometimes you're lucky like this and you get one coming in. But almost all the time you get the little forest birds riled up. They don't like pygmy owls at all. No, of course, pygmy owls eat the little birds. So the pygmy owl is a daytime hunting owl. So he does eat a lot of birds. So the little birds like to keep him in sight when they know he's in the neighborhood.
How big is a pygmy owl?
It's about 6 inches, 15 centimeters long, and they weigh about 50 grams, a couple of ounces.
Unbelievable.
The size of a big field mouse,
Yeah.
But they're real terrors. They can eat things, considerably larger than themselves if they manage to nab them. They love starlings and stuff like that. So
Lovely. Good call. Literally.
yeah, well, it's easy too. Just say kook and whistle at the same time. That's it.
With sandhill cranes passing overhead, Dick Cannings and I took to the woods with a ladder and a net. Why, you ask? Well, Dick is a leading expert on the northern saw-whet owl, and at this time of year he keeps careful records of the nesting habits of these tiny and very easygoing birds of prey.
I was hoping this one would be one I knew.
Yeah,
because I banded one 2 years ago, just back down the trail a ways, and found her again last year, only a couple hundred meters to the north, and so I was kind of hoping it would be the same female, but obviously isn't. Somebody was just born last year, and certainly not one of the young that was born in this territory either, or she'd have a band on her.
Oh, right, yeah, sure. So you band them all when they're about ready to fledge.
And I've never recovered any young. Never. They just disappear into the wilderness. So they probably disperse, quite a few miles before they find a territory. They migrate south. There's a well-documented migration that goes from, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, down across the Great Lakes and into New York and New Jersey and even farther south. These guys we don't know too much about, but the ones in the west here. But they do seem to have some sort of migration. We get birds from Alberta in the winter here.
Right. And the only way you would know that is from banding.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's no way to tell. They don't look different anywhere across the continent. Just get a wing measurement on her.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And get a, should be, this will be number 36.
Number 36. Okay. Number 36. Good bill snapper.
Yeah, and a real chubby one. It's hard to get a grip on her. She's so wide.
Are they likely to fledge 6 young from those 6 eggs, or what are the odds?
The odds are really good. They'll fledge 5. They've fledged 6 regularly. It's hard to say exactly. They might have a 50-50 chance or something like that.
Those are still pretty serious talons for such a small bird, aren't they? Yeah.
Certainly serious for deer mice anyway.
Yeah, oh sure.
They're actually not as bad as some of the owl talons you can encounter. Even pygmy owls that are smaller owl than this, their talons are really nasty.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they're built for catching stuff bigger than themselves, and so they're long and really sharp. These guys, they hurt, but it's not
the end of the world.
Not serious pain.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get her back.
Sure,
in there
good.
We've got 6 eggs and half a pocket mouse in here. Male pocket mouse.
6 eggs in the smack. Excellent.
There you go.
Bye-bye. So Dick, you're smelling the tree.
You haven't smelled the Ponderosa pine before?
Not that close.
Take a sniff. Take off your hat there to get real close. Get in the crack there.
Smells like ice cream or something.
Yep, you're real close.
Doesn't smell like a pine tree. It smells like ice cream. What's going on?
It's vanilla. Pure vanilla.
No kidding.
Yeah, the same chemical, vanillin, I think they call it.
Vanillin.
I guess, if you wanted to, you could extract it and stick it in
Ice cream.
ice cream, right?
There you go.
Don't have to get the bean.
Go figure.
go
The
for the
side
pine.
benefits of birding in British Columbia. I thought it was supposed to smell like a pine air freshener.
Well, you got to check all the tapping out here, because you never know when you might get the white-headed woodpecker.
The white-headed woodpecker.
Everybody's
That's
after.
probably, the top birding bird for this part of the world. I still don't see it.
Oh, there it is.
What do you got?
It's just in the pine through there. It's I think a rather enthusiastic red-breasted nuthatch.
Oh, well, there you go.
But you got to look at them all.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's maybe excavating a cavity or something like that.
Yeah, well,
They can make a lot of noise when they want to.
Yeah, when they're working hard.
Yeah.
Working hard indeed.
Dick and I left the pine forests to check out another habitat, the sage-dotted grasslands of the valley bottom. Got a western meadowlark coming up there?
Yeah, that's the real sound of spring, western
Oh
meadowlarks.
yeah, listen to that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. From March on, it's a real characteristic of these Okanagan grasslands.
Boy, look at the yellow color on that bird,
looks
too.
great too, doesn't he?
Fresh plumage, ready for spring. So, do you think the females would be back by now? Or
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because they're all ready for the...
Yeah, they've been back doing their thing for quite some time now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the spring comes to British Columbia, even the interior British Columbia, a lot sooner than it does to the rest of Canada. So things have been warming up here for some weeks now. But still, there's quite a few birds yet to come, but a lot are back and doing their stuff.
Well, you know, we find everywhere you go, people saying, oh, you should come another month later, or you should have been here last week. So, I think we're doing really well.
Oh, yeah. Well, April's a good time here. It gets better, though.
Oh, maybe we'll come back, yeah. So, tell me, some people call this the pocket desert of Canada. Is this really a desert? It doesn't look like a desert.
Well, it's not a desert, no. It's kind of dry. You get, 10, 12 inches of rain here every year, a little much for a desert. But it's a little too cool in the winter, although it's not as cool as the rest of Canada. But
this looks like a lot of the rangeland in southern Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it's the sagebrush and the grasses are very similar, and you get a lot of the same birds, the western meadowlarks, for instance, and the vesper sparrows and the brewer sparrows and the burrowing owls, things like that.
Yeah, speaking of which, we were just coming down here to look for burrowing owls. Do you see anything near that nest yet?
There's those posts that have been put up for them to perch on. I don't see anything on the posts. Oh, but there's a little brown lump there next to it, just to the right.
Boy, brown lump. It looks like a beer can. Oh, no, it's moving. Sorry.
Well, it's
an owl.
Too round on the top for a beer can, yeah. No, it's a burrowing owl. Yeah, these guys have been reintroduced to the province. They were pretty well gone back in the 70s. They declined all through the early part of the century. They used to be quite common here.
Oh, there it goes. It's up on the fence post there now.
They time their arrival back here to when the pocket mice come out of their burrows. The pocket mice that are the common rodent here in the grasslands come out of hibernation in March, and that's when the burrowing owls come back. And then later on they switch over to big crickets and beetles for most of the summer.
Oh, there's red-tailed hawk over there.
Yeah.
I always like red-tailed hawk. I never get tired of looking at them.
Yeah. Especially when they bank in the sun and show that tail.
Yeah. Nice tawny head on that one. Beautiful. Oh, spring's here. I'm pleased. Spring birds are everywhere in the lower Okanagan Valley in April, with song sparrows and ruby-crowned kinglets in the willows, and pairs of Canada geese in the air. This beaver was enjoying an early morning swim, and we enjoyed seeing it as well. At every body of water we visited, the familiar sight of swallows in flight was another sure sign that spring had arrived. Dick and I identified 4 species of swallows in this group, although it's not easy to follow their aerobatics with your binoculars. This one, with an iridescent back, a white belly, and large patches of white near the base of the tail, looks like a violet-green swallow to me. This is Vaso Lake down below me here, one of the premier birding spots in the southern Okanagan. But if you come up away from the lake, up into the hillsides here, you've got a chance to see a couple of species of birds that you're unlikely to see just about anywhere else in Canada. Now, Dick's off scouting for canyon wrens. That's one of the specialties of this area. But if you look right up in the sky at the top of the cliffs there, there's a nifty bird, the white-throated swift. And they are indeed very swift. I just love watching swifts, but you know, they get up in the air. They're insect-eating birds, and they spend pretty well the whole day way the heck up there. So if you want to really enjoy them, you pretty well have to lie down on your back and watch them flying around. Gorgeous birds. Let me show you in the field guide, because it's kind of hard to get a sense of what that thing looks like from down on the ground level here. Swifts they come right before the hummingbirds, and they both have really tiny little feet. That's how you remember how to find swifts in the field guide. And here's the white-throated swift, very long-winged. It's something like a swallow, but the wings are longer, the body is shorter in proportion to the wings, and they fly differently. And if you look at the map, you'll notice that the white-throated swift just barely gets into Canada. Just a little finger of its summer range extends up into the Okanagan Valley. So there you go, a real specialty, a white-throated swift. Dick returned from his wren scouting trip with encouraging news, and I followed him to the rock face just as a few drops of rain began to spit from the sky. You're right, it's definitely not a classic desert.
No, well, we get our April showers here.
We're gonna get soaked. But this is great canyon wren habitat, and I'd sure like to see a canyon wren. That's, by the way, that's a superb bird that many Canadian birders come here to see.
It's only found here in the South Okanagan, really, in Canada.
Let me just show you the map.
Track it down, and there it is.
There, look at that map. Unbelievable. Just barely squeaks into the country. So, speaking of squeaking, shall we try to call this thing up? Or?
Well, it's got a beautiful whistling song, and I'm not a good imitator of it, but it might...
Probably better than I am.
It might think I'm some sort of deranged juvenile or something. We'll give it a go.
Oh, there, I can hear it.
Yeah, he's a lot better than that.
Oh yeah, he does it very much. he's got
whistler.
Real style, yeah. Give her another go. Oh, something flashed across up.
Yeah, look in the rock, just in the cliffs and the rocks. That's where they like to hang out.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Yeah, there he is, just on that ledge.
Oh, he's a tiny little bird.
Yeah, tiny, but and really handsome, I think. Good, beautiful white throat and rusty brown back and
tail.
Well,
it's amazing how the orange tint to the plumage matches that orange lichen on the rocks.
Yeah, and part of the back is all gray. He's remarkably camouflaged when he wants to be, but when he's sitting out there singing on a ledge, that white throat really stands out.
Now, what's he doing there? He's like doing little knee bends.
Yeah, I guess he's
exercising.
A bit excited, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're one of the songbirds that stays here all winter, and they have a hard time if we have a really cold winter, which we do every 20 years or so. Their population goes down a bit because they don't migrate.
I didn't realize they didn't migrate. How about that? I wonder what they find to eat here in the winter.
Well, I guess that they like these cliffs with the big, deep crevices, and I guess back in there's all sorts of bugs, you know, spin in the winter, spiders, that sort of thing.
Oh, there he goes back into the cleft in the rock. Yeah, I guess they don't mind it. Deep in the boulders. Wonderful bird. Thank you, Dick.
Oh,
excellent.
Don't thank me. Thank him.
These are pictographs, and there's no one here to tell me what they mean or how long they've been here. For all I know, they've been here for hundreds of years. I don't know what the significance of them is, but you know, to me they look a lot like field notes. And of course, lots and lots of birders keep field notes. The good thing about field notes these days is they become a lot more portable. And you know, not everyone takes field notes. Some people just bird for the experience of birding, but others want to contribute their records to the overall record of birding lore. If you keep field notes, here's a few suggestions. Carry a field note book or a notepad with you. I like to write mine in pencil because ink will run if you get drenched in the rain. And the main things you need to keep track of are the date, and today is what, April 8th, 1995. The place, Vaso Lake, British Columbia. My name, John H. Acorn. And what did I see? A white-throated swift. Field notes. That's all there is to them. You can add other details if you want, but these are the basics. The date, the place, your name, and what it was that you saw. It is spring in the Okanagan, and what would spring be without bluebirds? Is that a western? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice orange breast, dark blue back, almost purplish blue.
Yeah, when you see that rusty red orange breast, you can believe that they're related to robins. They start looking a bit robinish.
That's right, yeah. Although the mountain bluebirds are just that pure sky blue.
Yeah. You know, there's some out this way. This has got to be a migrating group then?
I'd think so, yeah. The mountains go a lot farther north here, you know. They get up into the Yukon even. So these are probably still heading north. The westerns would be probably breeding around here, though.
And what's that little, some little dark thing is in there?
White in the tail. It's Audubon's warbler.
Yellow okay.
Yellow-rump warbler. Nice. They look good this time of year.
Oh, there's. Oh, yeah, they're beautiful. A wave of bluebirds. Can't complain about that.
Yeah.
So, hey, guess what? We just saw a rare bird for the Okanagan just off the main highway here.
Greater white-fronted goose.
I wanted to have you say it.
Well, I did it.
No, that's excellent.
With those Canadas there, yeah. They usually don't come through here. They go up through the prairies or up the outer coast, but they're really rare here in these mountain valleys, and they're even quite uncommon on the coast of Vancouver, so it's quite a nice sighting.
And we're getting a good close look at it.
Beautiful bird. Bright orange beak and feet. And
the white front, just a little white mark in the
white forehead, yeah.
Forehead, yeah. It's not much of a front, really.
Well, yeah.
You expect it to be a white chested goose, but it's... I hope the local Ornithological Records Committee is gathered around the television. This is our evidence. Greater white-fronted goose. April the 8th, 1995. As you may recall, I keep a list of the birds seen during the making of this series. Continuing with this tradition, our species total is now at 282 after 14 birding expeditions. That's about all the time we have for birding in the southern Okanagan. And once again, I think we've had an unqualified success of a trip. After all, we got a look at a lot of good birds, including some of the specialty birds of this region, the canyon wren and the white-throated swift, as well as some great looks at returning migrants from the south. But this is still early spring, it's early April, there's lots of good migration left. So why don't you join us next time? We'll be at Beaver Hill Lake in central Alberta, trying to catch the major wave of waterfowl migration, swans, geese, ducks of all sorts. It should be a spectacle not to be missed. So until then, happy bird watching, and we'll see you later at... I don't know what that is. Excuse me.